Hi everyone, welcome. This is La Lobita and I'm gonna go ahead and do a special reading because if you're watching this today, it is the 8/8 Lionsgate portal and we are on the eve of the August full moon, and so there's a lot of energy coming in at this time, a lot of messages coming in from the divine, and let's go ahead and tune in and see what it is that the highest of our ancestors, guides, angels, and benevolent beings would like us to know for this Lionsgate portal and this upcoming full moon. So if you don't know too much about Lionsgate portal, it is the 8/8 portal. You can definitely, take a look and browse on the internet and get a little bit more information. But the quickest way to, really break it down is it is considered the energetic new year. So 8/8, if you tilt it to the side, it's the infinite side. But what's really going on in the stars and energetically is 100% alignment. So, think of this as our spiritual new year. Think of this as the perfect time to begin to manifest the life that you want, not the life that others want for you, the life that you want to live. And, whether folks call the Lionsgate portal woo-woo or whatever, for me, it's really significant because a couple years ago, I don't know if it's 7 years already, I really chose the 8/8 portal to begin to do something simple like journal and write down my intentions, write down the ways that I wanted to see my life transform. The way that if I had, if I was driving the car and was in the driver's seat, what are the changes that I'd like to make? Where would I like to be? What would I want? Who do I want around me, in future timelines? And, I don't want to be cliche and I don't want to make it sound like it's simple, but when I woke up this morning, I was definitely remembering how awful I felt when I was beginning to embark in my spiritual awakening. And so a lot of y'all might be feeling it right now. The energies are no joke. Y'all might be like, you know what? These bags, they're too heavy, right? Everything that I'm carrying spiritually, emotionally, physically might not be what needs to come on this ride anymore. And so that is what I decided to do. I decided I did not want to have the pain that, if tended to, could be healed, And so all that to say is whether you take this as a sign, as the green light you've been waiting for, or, just take advantage of this moment. It doesn't mean you have to commit to full on 100% healing, but it also means that you can make little changes. Maybe it's being grateful a little, practicing moments of gratitude once a day or at the end of your day. And so work with this energy, take everything as it resonates, leave what doesn't. But I'm going to go ahead and jump in to our reading because I don't know about y'all, but I am so excited to know what is going on, especially during such just really intense energetic time. And like I said, the intensity could either be good or it can be a bad intense. So let's go ahead and see what the cards have to say this month. So the first card that we're getting is the divine timing. So again, going back to this Lionsgate's portal, going back to everything that is happening right here, right now in this world is definitely divine timing. A lot of y'all might be like, are you kidding me? Are you seeing what's going on in the world? Absolutely yes. And and what's going on right now is the great awakening, the pulling of the veil of everything that we refuse to see as a society, as a community. And we're seeing the good, the bad, the ugly that is this plane that we exist in. And so that being said is we are being led on a divine path, Although it might seem that you are walking in the dark, though it might seem that you don't have the answers you need, although it seems that things aren't necessarily moving forward, they are, and you have to trust. And so that's the first card that came on right out the deck. And right beneath it, we have the Medicine Mother, which is reminding us to honor our inner knowing, right? So if a lot of folks feel that you are walking in the dark at this time, I've said it before, if you're a returning viewer, thank you for being a returning viewer. But if you are a returning viewer, you already know when we are walking in the dark, your intuition is your compass. It is your flashlight. It is what is guiding you when you are not sure if, the people around you, the work, right, the situation that you are feeling uneasy about is right. And so definitely Spirit's really affirming, honor your inner knowing. And for those of you who might say, I don't know how to trust my intuition, well, there'll be different opportunities moving forward where I will go ahead and work with some of you to help develop your intuition and provide different classes. But also, honoring your intuition has a lot to deal with trusting yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, then maybe that's something you can reflect on tonight and with this upcoming full moon, right? Why do I not trust myself? Even just beginning to journal with those couple words, right? Why do I not trust myself? Or what experience did I go through in the past to make me doubt my inner knowing? And so again, take everything as it resonates, leave what doesn't. The next card is transformation. So as mentioned, things are changing. Things are constantly transforming. We don't go from a hill into a mountaintop from one minute to the other, right? You have to trust that things take steps, right? The manifestation process even takes steps, right? You cannot go from broke like a joke to I am a millionaire and, from day or night, unless you're playing the lotto or things like that. But things take time, right? It's piece by piece, step by step. And underneath that card, you have the guardian angel, which is your ancestors, your guides, your benevolent beings, your angels saying, you are not alone. You are never alone, even when you are walking, when it feels like you are walking in the dark, or when it feels like, I don't know if I am on the right path. All you have to do is call on the highest of your guides and ancestors, and they will give you, whether it's a feather, whether it's a number, an angel number, they will give you that affirmation that they are in fact there. The next card we have is the joy card. Again, this is, if you joined us for our last full moon reading last month, you already know this is coming back. A lot of times, and a lot of people in this collective, we're looking at the next thing. When is the next experience? When it was coming around the corner. And we do not take time to smell the flowers. We do not take time to appreciate the birds singing outside. We do not take time to appreciate everything that is in fact working, that is in existence in front of us right here and the now. And so Spirit is affirming us to bring in joy, let in joy. If right now things don't feel joyful, right? Do things for your health. Turn off the TV. Don't watch things like the news, right? I'm not saying bypass, but I'm saying your limits. Bring about joy. Make time for your hobbies, your interests, the things that bring you joy, whether it's friends, family, activities, whether it is playing with your pets, etc., etc., etc. Underneath the joy card, we have the be graceful in movement and in action. So it's the Shaloin Master. Hopefully I'm not butchering it, but we gotta partake in our own joy. We are not robots. We are here to exist. We are here to love, to laugh, right? And I don't mean it in the live, laugh, love kind of way. I mean it in the really like experiencing moments of joy and, the being graceful in movement and action. That card underneath the joy card is very that, right? A warrior is always attentive to its surrounding. It is in the present moment. And a lot of us, we think that we are in control, but we're not if we're not paying attention to our surroundings, if we're not being receptive to the gifts that our guardians, our guides, and even Earth is giving us. And if you could see here, the warrior, he has a grasshopper. I think it's not a grasshopper. He has a little bug. It escapes me right now, but the name escapes me right now. But he has one fist in the air, and then he has a bug in the other, right? Which shows like if he was like ready to brawl right away, I don't think that the grasshopper would, it's not a grasshopper, it would be jumping, I don't think it would be with him, right? Animals come near you when you are in a state of peace, of balance, of equilibrium. And so as you could see, this also is representative of the merging, right? We can still have our sights set on our goals. We can still embrace our warrior spirits, but also bring in that feminine energy, that joyful energy, that receptive energy in order for us to be in balance and in harmony. Our next card, we have the Hunter card, which again, a portal. In order for us to manifest, in order for us to ascend, to heal, to manifest, it all goes back to this card's message is track down your fears and desires. You might think you're manifesting, you might think you want one thing, but unless you really look within and you identify, what do I really want? And what do I really want to experience in this earth plane, in this lifetime, right? You gotta track down the fears. What is keeping you from going and hunting and making these desires, these dreams a reality, right? And again, going back to integration, the card below that is the bridge, right? The bridging of the self, the bridging of the timelines, the bridging of your realities, right? Again, a lot of people think that shifting timelines is a jump, when in fact, for me, I see it as a bridge. You are doing the work, you are taking the steps so that you are essentially walking up the bridge, running up the bridge, right? But oftentimes, you don't wanna, you wanna bridge those parts of you together. You wanna bridge the light and the dark, the masculine and the feminine, etc., etc., etc. And so at this time, go ahead and practice integration. Go ahead and practice bridging, being a bridge to your next timeline. But again, it's going to take you hunting your fears, getting down and hunting your fears and desires. And finally, our last card, our heart card that brings it all together, is our Sentinel card, which is the One card. So if you're seeing this card right now, if you're seeing this reading, right, Spirit is affirming that you are the one. Think of it as you are the Neo in the matrix of your universe, right? You have what it takes and the coding, everything within you to make your reality possible, but it's going to take some divine timing. It's going to take you trusting yourself. It's going to be a transformation process, both when your inside world and outside world have to change. You do have your guides, your backup behind you. All you have to do is call on them. You have to experience the ride, the joy, and be in a state of receptivity and forwardness, right? Moving forward, and always reminding us that in order to shift where we need to shift, we have to get to know our fears. We have to be able to move despite the fears in order for us to drive into our desired path. But once again, it's going to be a bridge. We are bridging timelines. We move and shift through this bridging of the old into the new. And you can definitely do it because you are the one. So thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Lionsgate portal, happy full moon, and we'll see you next month.